Hello there, yogis, and welcome to today's practice of Feel Your Body. Today's practice is designed to nourish the relationship between the mind and the body. In my opinion, it's a little juicy, and it's all about getting in to your own body. So release expectations, get down on the mat, and don't be afraid to get a little sultry with it. Let's get started. We're going to begin in a kneeling position. If this is uncomfortable for you, feel free to come into a cross-legged easy pose. The toes are untucked and the palms come face up in the lap. We're already finding connection to our breath here. Taking a moment to acknowledge that we're here and that you made it. This is the last yoga session on this journey. Shoulders roll back. We find length in the back of the neck. Deep breath in. Exhale, a slow drop of the chin to the chest. And on an inhale, and as slowly as you can move, bring the right ear to the right shoulder. The slowest to get here wins the race. And as you rotate through the neck, open up that left shoulder just a bit to expand across the left collarbone. Breathe here. And then exhale, slowly roll back through center. Inhale as you rotate the left ear to the left shoulder. And that right shoulder tips back just slightly as we find a subtle openness across the chest. Tap into your breath. And then exhale, release, coming into the center. Keep moving through this at your own pace. Breathing into the right side and holding there. And then exhaling through the center to breathe on the other side. We're moving with intention. And the whole time we're keeping a strong spine from tailbone to crown. Maybe play around with opening and closing the jaw. And then even out the sides. And on your next exhale, come through to center. The chin lifts parallel to the mat. We crawl the fingertips forward and we come into a tabletop position. Neutral spine and long neck. We're going to turn the left fingertips around to face the left knee. And without applying a lot of pressure, just play around with rotating the body. Feeling a nice stretch in the forearm and the shoulders. Keep playing, getting into what feels good for you. Maybe sway in one direction and then the other. And then flip those fingertips back around. We're going to come onto the right side. The right fingertips turn to face the knees. And we'll play around with some soft, easy movement. Moving the upper body in a way that gives us as light or as deep of a stretch as we'd like. Keep moving with intention. And then let that go, flip the palms back around and come back onto the knees. Widen the knees a little bit, keeping the feet touching underneath us. Palms come to the earth in the middle, and just take a second to press the mat away. Find a lift in the chest and maintain this as we turn both fingertips around this time to face towards us. Press into the knuckles, broaden across the chest, and we're going to play around with lion's breath today. If you've never done this, it might feel really silly. If you've been a lion before, welcome back to the club. Okay, inhale, lift through the crown of the head and press away with the fingertips. On an exhale, the tongue sticks out and we send our gaze up toward the third eye. Let the breath really come from the throat as you create a breath like you're trying to fog up glass. Close the eyes, inhale, and then exhale, tongue out, gaze up as you try to fog a mirror in front of you. Really let the breath out. Inhale, press through the fingertips, the breath comes up through the body. And then exhale, tongue sticks out, maybe lifting through the tailbone a little to tilt the pelvis this time. Breathe out. Inhale, deep breath in, broaden across the collarbones. And then exhale, tilt the pelvis, tongue sticks out, fog that mirror in front of you. Let something go. Nice work. Thanks for playing. Rotate the fingers back around. Walk the hands forward, and then the hips lift up and back as we come into a downward facing dog. Really play around with pedaling the feet here, maybe crossing each knee across the midline as you lift each heel. Get really cat-like with this motion. Move with your body, lifting one heel at a time. Take a deep breath in, and on one long, slow exhale, walk your way to the top of your mat. Take a deep breath in to come in for a halfway lift of your choice. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms all the way up. And then exhale, hands come out to the side. Press through all four corners of the feet and take a deep breath in as we drag the right fingertips along the right side body and allow the left fingertips to trickle down the left side leg. And exhale brings us back up to the center. And then inhale in, raking the left fingertips up the left side body as the right fingertips trickle down towards the right knee. Keep the shoulders rolling back throughout this. And then exhale, come back to center. Continue doing this at your own pace. Sometimes I like to really dig the fingers in across the ribs to guide the ribs to open up into expansion. Get the neck involved if that feels good for you. And if you're thinking that this is pretty sensual, it's because it is. Don't be afraid to get freaky with it. Balance it out on each side. And then bring the body back to the midline. Inhale, pressing through the feet as we lift arms up and overhead. And then catch a wave, exhale, fold down. Bend the knees generously here. Bend them so much that the chest comes to drape over the thighs. Let the head and the neck go. Let the fingertips come to touch the mat. There are two options here. You can take peace fingers to wrap around the big toes, or we can lift the toes up and slide the palms underneath each foot until the toes come right up to the wrist for gorilla pose. If you're really enjoying this forward fold, you can stay here and maybe interlace opposite elbows to come hang for ragdoll. Regardless of where you end up, find a place to play. If your hands are on your feet, bend the elbows to bring yourself down even further. An inhale strengthens the spine a little bit, and an exhale folds yourself, bringing your face towards your shins even further. Maybe play around with that motion and catch a little wave. Or you can bend one knee at a time, feeling the stretch in the back of each leg. Maintain a relationship with the breath wherever you are. And then slowly let that go. Release each hand from the foot if you have them placed there. And inhale, we come up for a flat back. And then exhale, plant the palms next to the feet and step back right leg and then left leg for plank posture. Deep breath in, press the floor away with the palms. And then drop the knees, send the hips back, come into a quick child's pose. Walk the fingertips out long. And with a slither of the hips, move up and over an imaginary obstacle as we use the palms to drag our heart forward. Slowly raise the chin up toward the sky and drop the hips. Inhale up for an upward facing dog. And then exhale, push back with the palms, bend the knees, and tuck the chin and tailbone slightly, moving back into another child's pose. We're going to keep undulating the spine this way, connecting to our own breath. Tap into the movement of the pelvis, the neck, and the shoulders as you open up through the chest and breathe in for upward facing dog. Inner elbows shine forward and out. And as you exhale, push it back, come into a child's pose. Catch a wave here. Move slow. Keep connecting to your breath here and do a few more on your own. And then we'll all meet together in child's pose. Come back into a tabletop position and use all 10 fingers to press the mat away so that we're not collapsing in the upper body. Inhale, keep the right knee bent as you send the heel up toward the sky behind you. Now slowly bring the right knee out to the side for a little fire hydrant moment. And then the knee comes around and forward past the right elbow to in between the palms towards the nose. Send it back, pressing through that heel. The heel lifts up and comes behind us again, like we're pushing an imaginary ceiling. And then exhale, knee comes out to the side. Continue to move, drawing circles in this knee, creating fluid motions here. Breathe into this cycle. And then reverse this circle, really getting into that hip. Remembering to press the mat away evenly with both palms. And then slowly bring the knee back to the mat, level the hips. Maybe do a little shake from side to side. Let that go. Moving on to the left side, we know what to expect here. Inhale, the left heel lifts up. And exhale, the knee comes out to the side for a little doggy on the hydrant moment. Then we cross the left knee over the left elbow, coming to center, bringing the knee to the nose. And then exhale, send that heel up and back behind you. Keep doing this at your own pace, making it organic and creating something of your own with it. Maybe discover a sticky spot and play around with that. Start to reverse the circle if you haven't already, being careful not to collapse in the chest. Move like water. A few more breaths here. And then let that go. Bring the left knee to the mat. The palms crawl forward, and we lift the hips up and back for a juicy downward dog. Inhale to bring the gaze forward between the palms. Exhale, breathe all of the air out of the lungs, bringing a generous bend in the knees. We're going to make our way to the top of the mat. Maybe play around with a little bunny hop if that feels good today. We'll meet in a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms come up, root to rise. And then hands come to the hips. A little foot stretch coming at ya. Go ahead and shift your weight to the right foot. Keep an awareness through the center of the body, your core. Keep a soft bend in the standing leg as we send the left foot behind us. The tops of the toes graze the mat. You can send the toes back as far as feels good, keeping a gentle stretch here. We're not placing a lot of pressure on this foot. Even though we're stretching the feet here, I'll invite you to notice where in the body this is felt. Maybe consider what this sensation feels like to you. Just bringing a little mindfulness into a foot stretch. Okay, let that go. The left foot comes back to meet the right. Enjoy the feeling of that blood flow coming back to the toes. And then a gentle bend in the left leg as we send the right toes back. We want all the toes to make contact here, even that little pinky toe. The hands are on the hips, breathing through your center. And just notice the sensation here. Maybe walk the foot back if that feels better for you. Just play around with the stretch at the top of the feet and into the shin. Okay, shake that out, and then both feet come to the top of the mat. Inhale awareness as your weight shifts to your right foot again. Zipping up through the low abdomen, reach the left arm around and lift the left foot up behind you. Try to grab the shoelace side of the foot for baby dancer. Tap into that foundation and get settled here. Find your grounding. Feel a nice stretch in the left quad muscle. On an inhale, the right arm goes up to the sky. And option 1 is to stay here, maintaining a lift in the chest. Option 2 is maybe we continue to lift through the chest and find an object to set our gaze upon. As you inhale, push the left foot back into the hand, raising the leg so that the thigh bone ends up almost parallel or parallel to the floor. Slowly tip forward from the heart. The chin is parallel to the mat. Breathe. Falling out of this posture is totally part of it, so let yourself fall and then get back in. Breathe here. And then slowly come back to standing. Release that foot, coming on to the other side. Shake the feet out a little bit, get settled. And then we'll shift our weight to the left foot. Zip up through the low abdomen here. The right arm swims behind us and reaches for the shoelace side of that right foot. Stay here for baby dancer, playing around with balance. Or we inhale, lift up through the left arm as we hinge at the hips and send the heart forward for full dancer pose. Find something still to focus on. Get into a little expansion here. Press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Maybe fall. Breathe in and then slowly come back to stand. Let the leg go. A rule I have after I do dancer is to actually dance. So take 30 seconds here, shake out the body, maybe jump around a little bit, move your hips, roll your shoulders, play around with lifting one foot and then the other. Do whatever your body is calling for. Don't be afraid to have fun. A few more seconds. Dance it out. Great job. Settle down. Hands come to heart center. And then slowly make your way to the ground, down on your backs. Bend both knees and place the feet flat on the floor, hips width apart. Slide the arms alongside the body with the palms facing down. The fingertips should be lightly touching the heels. Press the heels into the earth. Inhale in and send the tailbone up, rolling the spine off the floor. The knees stay hips width apart here. The chin tucks into the chest, and the chest lifts towards the sky. Deep breath in. See if you can expand a bit more. And then exhale, slowly moving one vertebra at a time. Come back to the mat. One more time here, moving slowly and intentionally. Press the heels into the mat. Deep breath in as the tailbone lifts up. The shoulders press into the mat. The chin tucks into the chest. The chest lifts up towards the sky. Keep breathing. This pose never ceases to amaze me with how much possibility it has to discover more space within it. Keep breathing. And then exhale, slowly roll down to the mat, one vertebra at a time. The knees come into the chest. The fingers grip the tops of the knees. And we'll move the knees around in little circles each way and enjoy some sacral rolls. Reverse your circle if you haven't already. And then send the legs out long, one at a time. Give yourself a good morning stretch. The hands reach above head and the toes reach away from the hips, sending the body out as long as possible. Stretch, 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 and then collapse into whatever Shavasana pose suits you most today. Begin to relinquish any lingering thoughts and allow your body to relax into the mat. Notice the breath as it leaves the body. Notice the breath as it comes into the body. And then let go. Relax. As you are ready, wiggle the fingers, move the toes, bat the eyelashes open. Notice the sensation of the clothes on your skin and the air in the room around you. Sweetly push yourself into an easy sitting posture after you roll onto your right side. Breathe in, arms come up and overhead, and then bring the hands to center. This journey was an honor to create for you. I hope that you have gained all that you could from it. No matter what happened, create it in your mind's eye that it was perfect. Thank yourself for carving out the time for yourself. This is how we rebuild the world. With nothing but gratitude. Namaste.